Hold on, y'all. Let me get my light right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm in the building tonight. Didn't expect to be in the building tonight. Hope you guys are doing well. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. We might have to just go without the light. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Tune in. I had my light on, but it just went out. Hold on. Tune in, y'all. Tune in. If you're just coming in here, tune in, yo. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. Here we go. Tune in, y'all. Tune in. Who we got in here? Who we got in here? What we doing? Hold on. I'm just in here talking, you know what I mean? I haven't been on here in a while. Haven't done a post in a while. Haven't talked to y'all in a while. Thought I'd come on here and talk to y'all. Why not? Tune in, man. Thought I'd come in here and talk to y'all. For a little bit. Know what I mean? It's been a while. Y'all haven't seen me in a while. I just thought, you know what, let me get on here, just talk my talk. I'm just here. You know, of course, a lot's going on. You got the 50 Cent T.I. You got Trump State of the Union. I'm just in here chilling right now. Maybe we'll get to a couple of topics in a few. Right now, I'm just chilling. Right now. Let me see something. I'm trying to see if I could put a chat in here, but I can't. I mean, not my chat, but I'm trying to see if I could put in my Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me see something. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I could put in my my poll, but I can't put in my poll in for some reason. I don't know why my poll won't work, y'all. Salute, y'all. Whoever's in here, salute. We're here to talk about T.I. 50 Cent. We're here to talk about T.I. 50 Cent, Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. Whatever you guys want to talk about today, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just decided to come on here today and just talk my talk. I haven't been on here in a long time. Listen, man, life has been lifing, man. There's been a lot going on, man. I've been dealing with a lot. I've been doing a lot. I know y'all haven't seen me in a while, but I'm here, man. What do y'all want to get into? Y'all want to get into Donald Trump and T.I.? I mean, which I want to get into 50 Cent. Let's talk a little bit about 50 Cent. Let's get into the 50 Cent T.I. thing. I heard the diss track by T.I. I thought it was dope. I heard all the diss tracks from T.I. I think T.I. is in rare form. I think T.I. is rapping. He sounds like the old T.I. He sounds like the T.I. from back in the day. He sounds great. He's rapping on production that he sounds good on. He sounds in good spirits. And he's on 50's ass. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think 50 he looks kind of clownish right now, in my opinion. Like 50 Cent, you're from New York. No matter what people want to say, 50 Cent, you're from New York. You came into this game clapping at, you know, I mean, let's go back to How to Rob. You came into this game dissing this rapper, that rapper. You came into this game as a person that clapped at, you know, at rappers. You came into this game battling. You know, you came into this game. You didn't come into this game as a hit maker. You didn't come into this game as you know, with the in the clubs. That came later. You came into this game calling out MCs' names and challenging them to say your name so you could go back and forth with them. That's how you came into this game. So now we fast forward to 2026 and you're scared to get into a battle with the tipster? You're scared to get into a battle with the tipster. I don't understand it. I gotta be honest, I don't understand it. I understand that 50 Cent, he can't really rap to the ability that he used to. I understand that he may have a little bit of cobwebs on the flow. He may not know what production to rap on to. Maybe he don't got the right selection of beats to get on. But at the end of the day, it's like, dog, like, I want to hear 50 Cent rap. I want to hear 50 Cent rap. Is there anybody out there that want to hear 50 Cent rap? Is there anybody like me that wants to hear 50 Cent? I wish I could put a what's it call it in here. Let me see if I could do the let me see something. See if I could put here we go. Let's put a poll in here. Should 50 Cent rap? Because I could put a little poll in here. Should 50 Cent rap? Rap back. Yes or no? Let me know. Should 50 Cent rap? I think he should rap. I think 50 Cent should rap. I think 50 Cent should rap. This is just my opinion. You know, I'm not asking nobody else to have this opinion. Let's put it up here. Should 50 Cent rap? I think he should rap, bro. I think 50 Cent should rap. Why you don't want to rap? Why 50 Cent don't want to rap, man? Get your ass in the booth. Put on your G Unit halter top. Have Uncle Murder, Tony Yayo write you some bars and get in the booth, bro. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see what you can rap about. Let's see what you can do in 2024. Excuse me, in 2016, 2026. Let's see what 50 Cent has to offer. I want to see 50 Cent get in that booth. I want to see him spit. I want to see what he can prove. Cause T.I., see, but I'm not gonna lie, for 50 Cent to get back in that booth, it's not gonna be good for him because I'm not gonna lie, he's not in rapper condition. He's not in rapper condition. He's not prepared to get into a battle with T.I., to be honest with you, because he hasn't really rapped in a long time. It's been a long time since since 50 Cent has rapped. He hasn't been putting out new music. He hasn't been rapping on, you know, doing features and stuff like that. So he's not in position. He's not in a position to really go back with Ti and to go back and forth with Ti. He's not really in, you know, rare form. He's been taking too long with the breaks. You know, he hasn't been put out no new music, no new freestyles. He's focused on show. I mean, that's just where he is. But my thing is this, 50, don't come for an MC. T.I.'s an MC. At the end of the day, if you're gonna challenge an MC, and I know he didn't put out a record challenging him, but if you're gonna make, you know, little jabs at MCs, they're gonna clap at you. The same thing happened with Fab. You was clapping at Fab. Fab was like, hold on, nigga. Hold on, fuck nigga. You can't even rap. Don't be punching at me and you can't even rap. Because at the end of the day, 50 Cent, you are a rapper. T.I.'s a rapper. Fabulous is a rapper. If you clap at rappers, they're going to rap at you. You could hide behind the Instagram post. You could hide behind the trolling. But at the end of the day, 50, we want to see you rap. You got to rap. It's time to rap. It's time for you to get in the booth, spit your ones and your twos, and get in the booth and rap. It's time to rap. It's time to rap. You know? It's time to rap. It's time to rap. Make no mistake, it's time to rap. We don't want to hear you. We don't want Instagram post. We don't want, you trolling. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's hiding behind that. If you want me to be honest with you, 50 Cent is hiding behind the trolling. He's hiding behind, just all the antics. Like, dog, let's get beyond the antics. No more antics. Let's hear your rap. Let's hear your rap. Let's hear you get back and forth with Ti. Ti's on his ass. Everybody's talking about you being a little sentimental because your baby mama got, smutted out by Diddy, respectfully. Um, Everybody's saying you're sore about that, and they saying that's the real reason why you're coming at Diddy. It's not because he tried to hit on you or allegedly tried to take you shopping. Everybody's saying that you're really sore because Diddy smutted out the girl you loved. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but they're saying that that's what it is. They're saying that's why you got all this beef with 50 and why you're going so hard. And the more people say it and you not address it, makes it feel true. Sometimes a lie unchallenged can become the truth. If enough people are saying, because Fabulous said it, T.I. said it, other people have alleged it, the more people say it and you don't address it, you don't say, nah, I was never in love with her. Nah, I was never feeling her. Nah, we just had a kid together and it wasn't nothing serious. And you not really challenge those theories or those narratives, it becomes plausible. Like maybe you are a little sentimental because of your baby mama. Maybe you are a little sour puss because Diddy was wilding out and he was violating your baby mama. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there. What's good, FBA? What's good, man? What's good? It's been a long time. What's good, man? Yeah, man. It's been a long time, man. I thought I'd come on here and talk to y'all for a little bit. Why not, man? Why not? I thought I'd come on here, talk to y'all for a little bit. Why not? It's been a while. How do y'all feel about the battle, though? Do y'all feel like there should be a battle? Do y'all feel like 50 should, reciprocate? Should 50 come out with his own battle bars, a song, a freestyle? It may not have to be a song, maybe a freestyle. Um, Personally, I would love to see it, but I don't think it happens. I don't think 50 wants to get embarrassed. I think that 50 is so out of touch musically that he'll get embarrassed. I think lyrically, he's not there. Production wise, because that is part of a battle, the beats you choose, the production you choose. I think musically, he doesn't know what he doesn't know what production and beats to choose to go at Ti. So I think he's totally lost. He doesn't have anyone in his corner that's musically sound that could kind of guide him, teach him, help him craft a diss song. I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time Tony Yayo put out a song? Uncle Murder. We only hear a song from him once a year. The wrap up. I mean, neither one of those guys has what it takes to help 50 put out a quality diss record. So at the end of the day, we're left really saying, can 50 put out a diss record? I don't think he can. I don't think he can put out a diss record. I think 50 is only left with one thing to do, and that's troll on Instagram. You can't rap. Maybe he could put out a documentary on Ti. Maybe that's what he's working out. Because I think that's the new thing for 50. If you got beef with a nigga, I'm not gonna rap with you. Let's put out a documentary. Maybe he makes a documentary. Maybe he talks about how Ti went to jail. Allegedly testified. Maybe he brings up the paperwork. Maybe he talks about Ti's past. I don't know. Maybe the documentary is the diss song. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's like 50 Cent, you are from New York. You did come into this rap game trying to battle people. Let's just be real. When 50 came into the game, he came out with songs like How to Rob. Then later on, the superstardom hits, Get Rich or Die Trying hits. You go on to beef with every single rapper. You beef with the Jadakiss, the Fat Joes, the Nas's, who else did he beef with? The Locks. You beefed with Cameron. You beefed with this guy, that guy. You threw shots at Jay-Z. I mean, your whole career is based off of you battling people and you going at people and calling out people. But here you got T.I. who's calling out your name. He's calling you all out your name. He's ready to battle. He's ready to go to a versus with you, and you're scared. You're trolling. I mean, I think the trolling is over. And I have to say, like, we have to stop with um calling 50 Cent a bully. Is 50 Cent really a bully? Or is he just hiding behind a keyboard and is he just, putting out documentaries and, kicking people when they're down? I mean, he's really not a bully. 50 Cent's not a bully. He's really a victim if we're gonna be honest. When it comes to the Murder Inc. stuff, he took L's in the streets. He wasn't bullying Murder Inc. They shot him up. They stabbed him. They put hands and feet on his back. They beat up his mans. He took numerous L's. Respectfully, I'm not even trying to clown 50. I'm just telling the truth. He took numerous L's to Murder Inc. He took numerous L's in the streets. Right? Now, did he win the battle between Ja and 50? Yeah, he won the battle. But if we're just talking about the streets, the street beef, he took a horrible L to Murder Inc. Right? So he took L's in the street. So is he really a bully? Who did he really bully? Can we I'm challenging anyone to name who did 50 Cent bully? Because he didn't bully Ja. He bullied Ja maybe on the mic. Yeah, maybe on the mic. He ended Ja Rule's career. But I'm talking about physically bullying, physically imposing himself. Who did he really bully? Who did he really bully? Who did he really he bullied, like he violated this dude. I mean, is he really bullying people or is he kicking people when they're down? Think about it. Think about the Diddy situation. Diddy has a Fed case. He's dealing with the feds. He gets 4 years in prison. And what does 50 do? He makes a documentary to kick him when he's down. Is that bullying or are you just kicking a man when he's down? Look at the Young Buck situation. Young Buck was on G Unit. Things went sour with that deal. Young Buck, this is 50, doesn't want to be on G Unit. He goes through bankruptcy. He goes through the trans gentleman thing. He's bankrupt. He's going to prison. 50 kicks him when he's down. He's not kicking him, when he's up and when he's doing well. He kicks people when they're down. Is that really a bully or are you just kicking people when they're down? Let me know. Salute to Sinclair. He says, oh, excuse me, Sinclair says, hey, True, FBA in chat. Hope all is well. Thank you, Sinclair. It's good to see you, bro. Good to see you, Sinclair. Rico says, Tip shouldn't rap. It sucks. You're bugging, bro. The T.I. song was fire. The T.I. song was fire. It was fire flames. Why are we lying to ourselves? That was a good song. Listen, T.I. can rap. T.I.'s a good rapper. He picked beats that are tailored to his style. He had like a southern beat, like a southern trap beat. I thought the track was dope. I thought the track was fire. I thought T.I. did his thing. I think that 50 doesn't have a competitive bone where he wants to get into the booth and rap. Sinclair says, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, join the chat. That's a fact. Salute to Sinclair. Let me hold on. Let me see if I could can I do that? Can I pin that? I can't pin right now. I don't know why my phone won't let me pin. All right. Um, Jason says, why 50 Cent always attacking black artists? That's a good question. That's a good question. Hold on. Let me just, someone brought that up and they said, Ti actually says that in the song. He says that you're always attacking black people, but you don't say nothing about those white boys. And I gotta be honest, Ti has a point. We don't see 50 Cent really go at anybody white. Who has 50 really gone at? He's so quick to kick in the back of a Diddy, so quick to kick in the back of a Jay-Z, so quick to kick in the back of anybody black within the culture. But you don't see him really clap at any white person. Now, maybe there's nobody white that is an enemy of his or that he thinks is an enemy of his, but I think that that's a valid critique of him. He doesn't really clap at anybody like that. There's plenty of people that are culture vultures within the hip hop genre, plenty of white people that have done harm to hip hop, who have done bad things, and you don't really see 50 say anything about them. He's only focused on, black people within the culture. That's a valid gripe. That's a valid gripe. Um, Rico says, I don't like anything he's done after Paper Trail. Well, listen, I think T.I., you know, he's had a great career. Let's just say that. He's had a great career. I do think that, you know, it came to a certain point, and every rapper, and I think every artist has that point where, they hit their peak and then they start to decline. I think he hit his peak around that time, Paper Trail. That's when he had all those big songs, like he had the song with Rihanna and all that stuff. I think he just hit his peak at that point in time. I think there was, I think no matter what you say about Ti, he had a great career. I think that his career, in terms of longevity, was longer than 50's. 50's hip hop career is really from '03 to about '07, maybe. I think Ti, he had hits after '07. He had hits going on into the 2000 to the 2010s. 50 slowed down after a while. He kind of like fizzled out in the trajectory in the beginning was like a rocket. It shot into the air. I mean, Get Rich or Die Trying was out of this world. But after that album, I mean, he kind of peaked. He sold 1 million copies with Massacre. It wasn't critically acclaimed. Nobody talks about that album. It sold a lot of records, but it's not renowned as a great album. He came back a third time. He did the whole thing with Kanye. Kanye outsold him, and that was kind of the end of his career, if we're going to be honest with you. I mean, T.I. has a better career than 50, if you ask me. If you're saying who had the more classic albums, you could say 50, but if we're just talking about pure longevity, I think T.I. wins that battle. Um, FBA says, T.I. a better MC, and I'm from Southside. You heard? RIP Coliseum Mall, RIP Gertz. That's a fact, man. Rest in peace to the Coliseum, man. It was sad to see was you out there, FBA? Was you out there for the last day, man? I wish I would have went out there just to pay my respects, because I mean the Coliseum was legendary, man. I mean, like honestly, man, like that was the place to be back in the day. Like all of the baddest joints from Queens up there. You go up there, get yourself a little fitted. Go walk up to Jimmy Jazz, get yourself some nice gear. Get yourself some sneakers. I always went up there for the fitteds. I was always up there getting a fitted. That was my thing, a fitted and some mixtapes. I was up there getting the fitted and the mixtapes. But the baddest joints in Queens up there. I mean, the Coliseum. I mean, a lot of the kids, they don't have a clue like what it turned into, in the 2010s and in 2020s. Like it was a shell of itself. In the early 2000s, in the 90s, the Coliseum was the place to be. And it's sad to see it go, man. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, man, it's sad. Um, yeah, man, yeah, man. Oh, you was out there. FBA says, yeah, I was out there. Yeah, mad people was out. Yeah, I wish I was out there, man. I seen that. I seen the last day. They took pictures. I seen it on Instagram where they was taking pictures, stuff like that. A lot of people was out there. Yeah. I was sad, man. I was like, man, I wish I would have went out there, man, just to be out there, man, and catch that vibe out there. 'Cause, I mean, that's gonna be just a time that we're never gonna see again. Travel and eat says petty cent. It gets annoying. Yeah, listen, 50 is petty. And I think at this particular point in time, we gotta call a spade, bro. 50's hiding behind trolling on the internet. He's not really like, let's be honest. 50 ain't 50's not gonna put hands on nobody. 50's not gonna put out a diss record. 50 is not going to do anything. The most 50 is going to do to somebody at this stage of his life is probably put out a documentary on them and make an Instagram post. He's not going to do nothing. 50 ain't trying to go to jail. He's not trying to get looked up by the feds or nothing like that. 50 ain't built like that no more. Now, don't get me wrong. He plays defense. He's gonna have a incredible security team around him. I'm sure he got people in terms of security wise that are probably former Marines and ex police officers. I'm sure he got an incredible defense team around him in terms of security and lawyers. But in terms of what he will do to someone offensively, he ain't doing nothing to nobody. He ain't gonna do nothing. No, he ain't gonna do nothing to Ti. He ain't gonna rap. I mean, he just hides behind Instagram posts. He'll probably make a documentary about you, but that's about it. He ain't gonna do nothing. Rico says y'all lost y'all spot like us in Dallas, losing our chicken spot on the 28th. We would wait in line for an hour to wait for that Rudy's chicken. I don't know nothing about no Rudy's chicken, but salute, salute, salute. If you didn't, FBA says, what do we expect? That's how we got in the game. Oh, y'all having conversations about what y'all having conversations about. But yo, I'm saying in terms of just the 50 Cent Ti thing, I just think that Ti's a better rapper. You know, Ti has been active. He hasn't put the mic down. He's been putting out albums. He's been collaborating. He's in rapper shape. Um, 50, he's making TV shows. He's making straight to DVD movies. He's not in rapper shape. He's not in rapper shape, you know? And I think the most the dumbest thing I think 50 did was get rid of Banks. I think he needs a nigga like Banks right now. He needs Banks to write him a 16 or 32 bar verse right now. I think the worst thing he did was get rid of Banks. Banks was the spitter. Banks was the dog. You can't lean on Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder to write you a 16 right now. They can't help you. They can't write a couple bars for you. They need somebody to write bars for them. So I think that getting rid of Banks was just I think that was dumb. I think he should have kept Banks around. You should have kept Banks around, man. You need a nigga like Banks to write a couple bars for you right now. That would help you. FBA says he said Banks was lazy as hell. That's a fact. I do believe that Banks was lazy. But I think all New York rappers are lazy. Joel Santana, lazy. Jadakiss, lazy. Um, you throw that whole era of New York rappers, they were lazy. That's the part of why New York fell off because they were lazy. The talent was there, the influence was there, but just that a lot of New York rappers were lazy. That's the reason why New York fell off. In my opinion, I think that we lost our sound because the rappers that were supposed to take the mantle, the next generation, the Lloyd Bankses, the Joel Santanas, the Pat Pooses, the Saigons, that whole era, that mid 2000s era. Everybody was passing the torch. The Jay-Z's, the 50s, the Nas, they were trying to pass the torch to the next generation. And I feel like they dropped the ball. You know? They didn't take the ball and run. Rico says Joel's had the talent to be the best of them. I agree. Joel's could have been a star. Joel's could have been a star. Joel's could have been a huge star. Joel's had so much potential because, one, your man's is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is the hottest in the game at this time. So you would have had access to Wayne. You would have had access to Nicki, Drake. The women, they love Joel's. All the dudes, they love Dipset. You had an ace in the hole. I mean, he had all of the stars aligned from him. It was just the laziness, popping the pills, your teeth is falling out. You had too much going on. He probably had the best setup to win. The only thing that was hindering him was being signed to Cameron while Cameron is beefing with Jay-Z. That's the only thing that was hindering him. But outside of that, that was the only thing that was hindering him. If he could have just told Cameron, listen, chill, I want to make my music, I want to put my music out, I got to work with Jay-Z, I think things would have worked out. But, it was the fact that, Cam was beefing with Jay, and that kind of hurt that situation. And after that, the situation with Def Jam was fractured, and things kind of went, badly, I guess, out of that. FBA says Joel's couldn't outshine the master, 48 laws of power. You could say that. You could say that, but I feel like Joel's trajectory was going to surpass Cameron at some point. I do feel like he had it in him and he could have done it, but I just feel like, even Cameron said that he had it, but it was just the fact that you had to pause, you had to pull it out of him. He was lazy. You had to, he had to make Joel's go to the studio. He had to make Joel's, put that effort in to make, the movement what it was. Rico says New York was going at each other next, and while that was happening, the South was dropping hits. That's a fact. That's a fact. I think that's another reason why New York fell off, is because a lot of us was beefing. FBA says always had an issue with a rapper signing another peer rapper. Yeah, listen, I think that it's a double-edged sword, because you could say that, but let's be honest. Did the Dipset, affiliation help Joel's? I would say yes. Did the G Unit Lloyd Banks collaboration and affiliation help Lloyd Banks' career? I would say absolutely. Did Memphis? Do you think Memphis Bleak goes gold without a Jay-Z? I don't think so. I don't think we would have ever heard of Memphis Bleak if it wasn't for Jay-Z. So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you could say signing to another rapper is you're probably going to never really surpass the master, but there's cases and points where that's not necessarily true. Look at Drake. Look at Kanye West. I think Kanye West surpassed Jay-Z, in terms of artistry. I think Drake surpassed Lil Wayne in terms of artistry. So it can happen. It depends on the artist. It depends if they want it or not. Did Memphis Bleak really want it? Did Joel's really want it? I throw that question back at you. I feel like some of those guys didn't really want it. You had the opportunity. Remember that, if you're a rapper signed to a rapper, some people think that, oh, they're not going to let you shine like them. They're not going to let you get to the heights as them. I disagree, because I feel like if you're a rapper signed to another rapper, they're going to want you to be successful, because it's helping their pockets. You don't think Jay-Z was championing Kanye when he was selling all those records? Yeah, go out there and sell those records. Go out there and get those #1 hits. Nigga, that's helping his pockets. He signed to Rockefeller. You don't think when Drake was going #1 and selling all these records that Lil Wayne wasn't happy? Yo, go out there and sell all those records. You just making more money for me. So, I disagree with that notion that, a rapper doesn't want to sign to another rapper. It could help your career. It could help your career. You know? Rico says it always ends bad. And I disagree. It doesn't always end bad. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. I just think that a lot of rappers, they have bad intentions, bad contracts. Um, they manipulate people. It doesn't have to be bad business. If you, I mean, just look at Master P. Master P, he's prime example. He didn't do bad business. Look at Jay-Z and Rockefeller. They didn't do bad business. Ask anybody about those Rockefeller contracts. Those were good contracts. They said back in the day, Rockefeller, Master P, those were like the prime contracts. The bad contracts were the bad boys. Who else had bad contracts? I heard Rap a Lot had some bad contracts. Those were the bad contracts, but Rockefeller, No Limit, oh, Death Row. Death Row had bad contracts. Bad Boy, Death Row, those were some bad contracts. So you could do good business and be signed to a rapper. It's just, who are you signing to? Are you signing to somebody who's going to do good business or bad business? You know? It doesn't have to end bad. It doesn't have to be a bad contract. It just depends on the person you're doing business with. You're going to have good business people. You're going to have bad business people. Depends on who it is. You know? Oh, FBA said Bird Gang Records. Yeah, I would say Bird Gang. Jim Jones, he ruined that situation. For you to have Stack Bundles and Max B and you not to put out not one album, you got them on 100 mixtapes. You got them on all your albums, making your hooks, writing your songs, and you don't put not one album. You had it. You had your own version of Dipset. You had your Joels. You had your Jim Jones. You had everybody. You had Max and you had Stacks. So all you need. And another thing, what Jim Jones did that was stupid with Bird Gang, you had all these other ancillary niggas. Like we didn't need Mel Matrix. We didn't need Mel Murder. He should have never put Mel Murder in the. He trying to look out for his little man's. And I know Mel Murder is, I know he's super G'd up or whatever like that. Nine Trey Godfather and all that. Salute to him, but you didn't need to put him in the group. You got the nigga that sounded like Jay-Z in the group. Like you didn't have to sign all these niggas. All you needed was Stacks and Max, and you had a roster. You had a team. You had two talented niggas that could sell records. Two talented niggas with potential. And you squandered it because you want to buy BB Simon glitter belts and true jeans and Pelly Pellies, and you want to take Chrissy on shopping sprees. You had these niggas in the hood. God bless the dead. You had Stacks and Red Fern projects, driving around in Porsches, parking the car in front of the projects. You had Max out here robbing people to survive and to live. I mean, and I'm not gonna say all of this is his fault. I'm not gonna say everything was his fault, but I mean, if you would have put a record out, if you would have put an album out on these niggas, they probably would have not have been. I mean, Cameron, he said it best. He said that in the live stream. I'm not saying that all of these choices is based off of what Jim Jones didn't do, because these are their own men, but it makes you think that if maybe if you would have got Max a deal, he wouldn't have been in that position. Maybe if you would have got Stacks a deal, he wouldn't have been in that position. I mean, a lot of people have said that. You know, FBA says had Mel out here doing so bad he was running the set. Yeah, man, you had Mel Matrix out here doing this, doing that. You got him on. He was doing too much. Jim was just doing too much. Jim always wanted to be, in my opinion, he always wanted to be Cam. He always wanted to be the top guy. And then he finally got into a position where he's that guy. He got the hit record. He got this crew behind him, and he's so focused on trying to be the top guy. He just, he got all these people working for him, but he ain't realizing, like, dog, you got two stars right here. See, that's the difference between him and Cam. When Cam realized that Joel's was a star, he said, "Yo, let's put this nigga album out." Listen to what Cam did when he realized Joel's was star. As soon as Cam got to Rockefeller, he went downstairs and talked to Kev Lyles and was like, "Yo, my man Joel's he in this group Dipset with me. Yo, he's a dope artist. Yo, let's get him a deal." That's the difference between Jim and Cam. Cam was like, "Yo, my man is a star. Let's get him a deal. Let's go." Yo, Kevin Lyles, yo, sign my man Joel's. Why didn't Jim do the same? Why didn't Jim? You had the hit record. You had all the labels calling you. You got Max and Stacks on all these mixtapes. They hot in the streets. Why didn't you take these niggas to a Def Jam? Why didn't you take these niggas to a record label? Get these niggas a deal. Why wasn't you doing? Why was you having these niggas work on 1,000,000 songs for you, work on 1,000,000 mixtapes for you, and you ain't put these niggas out? Yeah, man. A lot of niggas was. I mean, a lot of niggas felt like that. A lot of niggas felt like that. A lot of niggas felt like that for a long time about that. He messed that whole Bird Gang situation up. That was a good situation. They did have a deal. Who they have a deal with? They had a deal with Koch Records. They had a Bird Gang deal. I'm talking about their own solo deal. He says they was signed to Bird Gang. What does that mean though? What does signing to Bird Gang? What did that really mean in '06, '05, '07? What did that really mean? Didn't really mean anything. Bird Gang wasn't signed to a Def Jam. It wasn't signed. They probably was signed to Koch Records, which was E1. He was probably signed to Koch. They was probably signed as a group to Koch Records. I think they did put out like a compilation Bird Gang album, something like that. So yeah, that didn't really mean anything. I'm talking about a real deal, like a Def Jam, like a real label with the backing and the money behind the singles, and like what Joel's had, like what Cam had. They even had Bird Gang chains. Yeah, he put them slave chains on them niggas, man. Yeah, listen, and I'm not gonna kick in Jim Jones back. Cause listen, he did give them an opportunity, and without Jim Jones giving them an opportunity, probably would have never heard of them. But he did squander that that era, because I felt like if he would have gotten Max and Stacks a deal, I think his career would have looked differently. If he would have got Max and Stacks a deal, his career would have looked differently. But it is what it is. But yeah, that, in my opinion, that era killed New York hip hop, in my opinion. That was the era, the 2004, not four, I would say 5, 6, and 7. 2005, 2006, 2007, that's when New York hip hop fell off completely. It fell off completely. Like, there was no hope. There was no hope. There was absolutely no hope. You had Pat Poose, you had Saigon, you know, Stacks. Who else? Mims, Mano. Who else was popping at that time? Gravy. Who else was Who else was popping at that time? I'm trying to think of the names. Who am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting? Uncle Murder. Uncle Murder was popping around. He had a name around that time. Um, I feel like I'm missing a few names. I'm missing a few names. FBA, he would know a couple of more. I think there's probably like one or two people I'm missing from that era. Yeah, but that era killed New York hip hop. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was over. It was over. I mean, just failure after failure. We thought Pat Poose was gonna be the next Nas. Boy, was we wrong. And listen, great rapper, incredible rapper, but he wasn't the next Nas. We thought Saigon was gonna be the next star. That didn't pan out. Who else? Who else, like who did we really believe in that we thought was gonna be like the next guy? Of course, we thought Joel's and Lloyd Banks was gonna carry the torch. But yeah, that was a bad time in New York. That was a bad time. Like we wasn't having no success. We wasn't have like we like if we did. I mean, and if you're gonna be real, New York hasn't been the same since that era. You know, the last glimmer of hope New York really had, in my opinion, the last glimmer of hope, the glimmer of hope for like a hip hop scene or a hip hop rapper was probably Pop Smoke. That was probably the last glimmer of hope. That was the last glimmer of hope we had in like the New York hip hop scene. Ever since then, it's been terrible. Oh yeah, I would say ASAP too. Like when ASAP was popping, like when he first was popping and like in the beginning, I think the ASAP that the beginning of that era, and I would say Pop Smoke. Those were probably like the last two times New York had something. But ever since then, it really hasn't been really nothing in New York, really. FBA says, had New York looking so bad, we was thinking J Hood would. Yeah, there you go. That's her name. I forgot. J Hood. J Hood would bring the game back. Yeah, that was a bad era. J Hood, J.R. Ryder, 40 Cal, Hell Well. Um, yeah, man. It was a lot of, man. It was just failure after failure. Like that was a bad era for New York, bro. And I'm gonna be honest, in that era, the only rapper that had the charisma, the swag, the ability to be a star was probably only, in my opinion, was Max B. I think Max B was the only one who had the full package to be a star. None of those guys was going to be stars. I think that Stax was a good rapper and he had charisma, but he was still a little too rough around the edges to be a star. Max was ready to be a star. Out of everybody I named, Max was probably the only one ready to be a star out of everybody. I don't think Stax was ready to be. I think he still had to be polished. Pause. He had to still polish his style to get to that level. A lot of those other guys, the J Hoods, the J.R. Riders, the Pat Pooses, they were just too focused on trying to, make the best punchline, the best raps. They wasn't really ready to be a star. Max was probably the only one ready to be a star. FBA said my son has the whole package. Can't say that in Harlem. I said pause before. Like, come on, man. You give me that. I didn't just say the whole package and then try to clean it up. I said pause, then I said the whole package. Come on. Come on. Give me that. I didn't just say it out of nowhere and just try to let it slide. I said pause first. Yeah, man, come on. Give me that at least. Yeah, but I think Max was probably the only one that was ready to be a star. I don't think the rest of those guys were ready to be stars or had it in them to be stars. Pause. Yeah, but in terms of like, the whole 50 Cent, well, I mean, we went into a whole tangent about, New York hip hop and, the mid 20s of New York hip hop. But just to sum up the whole 50 Cent Ti thing, I just don't think 50 Cent is going to rap. He hides behind Instagram trolls. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about the State of the Union yesterday. Did anybody see the State of the Union? Trump on the State of the Union. You had Al Green with the Black people aren't ape sign, just so performative. Um, Very performative. You know, and I'm gonna say this, and this might be a controversial take, but I don't really have a problem with what Trump did with that post. Do I think that it was offensive? Do I think he should have done it? No. Do I think that it was distasteful? Yes. Um, But this is how I look at it, and let me know if I'm wrong for looking at it like this, right? Obama ran off the premise of I'm not a president. I'm not a black president. I'm a president for all people, meaning that I'm not a president specifically for black people. I'm a president for everybody, right? And even post presidency, he said that he couldn't do things specifically for black people because I work for all of I work for all Americans, right? Right? Now keep in mind, black people voted for Obama in record numbers. I think he had a 90 it was in the 90s percentage of black people that voted, black voters who came out and voted in the 90% range. I think it was 98% of black people voted for Obama during the 2008 presidency of election of Barack Obama, right? Um so the way I look at it as this, right? Here you have a man who said that I wasn't working on behalf of black people. I was working on behalf of American people. So if he makes that delineation of, even though black people voted for me, even though black people put me in office, I'm not working on behalf of black people. Then if Donald Trump puts up a post of you as a monkey, I don't think I should feel away as a black man because you were not working on behalf of black people. You were working on behalf of the people, right? So when Donald Trump puts up a post of you as a monkey, I think he's talking about you. He's just saying that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are monkeys. It had nothing to do with black people, right? If Obama made that delineation of saying that, yo, I'm not working on behalf of black people, I'm working on behalf of American people, then I shouldn't feel away. You wasn't working on behalf of me. You wasn't representing me. You were representing America, the American people. So when he puts you in a post as a monkey, he's not dissing black people. He's dissing you. So I don't feel away. That's how I look at it. I don't feel that he was dissing black people because if Barack Obama and keep in mind Barack Obama's not a black man. He is an African from Hawaii. His wife is black, but um, Barack Obama is not black. But if he made that delineation, then I should make the delineation that Trump was dissing Barack Obama, not me, right? That's just my opinion. Let me know if y'all feel that if y'all feel like that is wrong. If y'all feel like I'm, maybe I'm off. I shouldn't say that. Culture says BS. Trump don't rock with us. I never said he did. I never said he did. I never said he did. Um, this is my stance, culture. I feel like if you're a white man and you're of the age of 70, 80, I believe that you've seen real racism, that there's no way that you can't be racist. And I would say Trump is right there. Trump is absolutely a racist. If you're a white man of the age of 70, if you're a white man of the age of 80, you have seen real racism. You didn't see no 90s racism, black man can't catch a cab. You didn't see no 2000s racism, like, a black man, walking through a white neighborhood and everybody staring at him. Nobody says anything, but they just staring at him. You didn't, they seen real racism. So in my opinion, I just feel like any white man at the age of 70, he's pretty much a racist, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But in reference to the State of the Union, it had Ilhan Omar. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. You had her, yelling back and forth with the president. You had, the Democrats with their sourpuss faces and everything he said. Didn't stand up for a lot of the people that were being, presented with awards and things of that nature. I think that was in poor taste. But the State of the Union, it was interesting. I enjoyed it for most of what it was. I think a lot of the Democrats they need to just stop with the performative stuff. There's too much performative stuff. The pens, release the file. It's just too performative. It's too performative. Oh, BX Mel is in the building. What's good? I ain't see BX Mel in a minute. Salute, BX Mel. I ain't see BX Mel in a minute. Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, but I thought it was very performative. C Nudo, Trump killed that speech. Yeah, I thought the speech was pretty good. I thought the speech was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the festivities. I think the Democrats, they're in such a bad space. It's just like, bro, like I just want the Democrats to get out of the phase of the performative. I understand that, you don't have the power that you once wielded. You're not in you don't have the president's seat. You don't have the house like that, like you used to. I understand that you guys don't have the power right now, but it's just I'm just tired of the performative stuff. It's just too performative. I'm tired of the performative politics. I don't like the performative stuff. Like if you're gonna actually go out there and do the work, and actually, just really not do performative things. I like that. I don't like the performative. It's too much performative stuff in politics. It's just tiresome. Um, BX Mel says, hold on. What culture says, racism is a power construct. We let this conversation about that word get out of hand and change the narrative. Well, racism is a power construct, but racism is here to stay. Racism ain't going nowhere. As long as we have privatized banking in America, as long as we have privatized banking around the globe, racism will continue to exist. Privatized banking funds all of racism. Remember, racism is a system. The privatized banking industry, it finances racism. So racism is always going to be here. It's not going anywhere. Um, But BX Mel says Al Green is a clown and needs to shape up. Yeah, he looked at so stupid with this stupid. It was just the optics of it was just like it was just too much. I don't want to see an old black man get kicked out of get kicked out of the proceedings of of that just the optics looked crazy. You got this sign, black people aren't apes. Yes, we know black people aren't apes, but why are you as an old black man holding up this sign and then you got these white people looking at you and tossing your ass out the thing? It just like, come on, bro. It's 2026, bro. Come on. I don't want to see no old black man get his kicked out on his keister, holding up a black people aren't apes. Like, listen, if he wanted to, you know, you know, put that message out there in a better way, that would have been great. But I just think the optics of that was it was nasty. And then here you got black people, like the whole optics was just nasty. Him getting kicked out with the sign, black people standing up and clapping. The whole optics were just nasty. It was just like, dog, like, it's just nasty. It's nasty. And listen, I don't agree with what Trump did. I never said that I agreed with it. But I feel like, Barack Obama delineated from blackness. He delineated. He became a liberal LGBTQ president. He was not a black president. He did not work on any incentives for black people. He did not work for us, by us. He did not push any black agendas through. So why should black America feel any type of, solidarity to Barack? I don't see it. I just don't see it. He never really, vibed with us like that. If he never really did anything. Um BX says it's people in his own party that will call him an ape. That's a fact. That's a fact. Why don't the liberals call out the white liberal racist? Did you see the video? I wish I was on my computer. Did you see the video of a white liberal calling a black ICE agent a house nigga? He called a black ICE agent a house nigga. Now, let me ask you this. Why is it okay to be a racist when it's against someone that's doing something that you don't like? Let's say, okay, you don't like the fact that a person is an ICE agent. Is it okay to be a racist then? I want to ask the white liberals this because I seen Tory. Anybody know who Tory is? He used to be a hip hop journalist until he got disgraced and kicked out. I think he had a couple scandals or whatever like that. He's saying that it's okay to call a black man that's an ICE agent a nigger. So it's okay for a white person to say that. You got these liberals that are just so tone deaf that they have no allegiance to just being a black person on code. They have no allegiance to being American. They have no allegiance to anything. It's just liberal agendas. Anything goes, as long as you're a liberal. I didn't know that you could be a liberal racist. I thought that liberals were against racism. So let me ask liberals this: if a let's say if a trans person was ICE agent, is it okay to be homophobic now? Is it okay to bash gay people and to hate on gay people because they're an ICE agent? I mean, like the liberals, they don't stand for anything, and that's why the party is just discombobulated. They don't have nothing to stand on. They don't stand for anything. There's no hope in that party. That's why people don't believe in that party. That's why it looked like it's going to be another 4 years of MAGA because the Democrats are just they're just clowns. They don't stand for anything. What do the Democrats stand for? Can somebody tell me what do the Democrats stand for? BX Mel says Jesse wanted to cut his nuts out. That's a fact. Jesse Jackson, rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson said um he wanted to cut Barack's balls off. What did he say? Because I think he was talking down to black faith-based preachers. I forgot what it was, but yeah, Jesse Jackson was like, "You won't cut his balls off." you know? And listen, Jesse was right. Jesse was right. At that time, a lot of people were drinking the Barack Kool-Aid and they saw no wrong in him. And they were like, why Jesse say that? Jesse, he ain't nothing. He just a bitter old man. But now look at how people feel about Barack Obama today. Now we say, I kind of see what Jesse was saying. Jesse was right all along about that man. He was never for black people. He was never for the black agenda. But I want to ask you guys, what do the Democrats stand for? They don't stand for anything. They don't remember. If anybody saw the State of the Union, Trump talked about how the country is going to celebrate 250 years of its independence. Not one Democrat stood up. So you don't stand for the country. You don't stand up for independence, 250 years of independence. You don't stand for the border being secure. You don't stand for no tax on tips. You don't stand for, Social Security, elderly people getting Social Security. What do you stand for? They have become a party that doesn't stand for the American people. I hate to be that guy, but I'm just saying the optics of it. The optics of it make it look like the Democrats are not on the side of the American people. As much as you want to hate the things that Trump does, yeah, a lot of people are not fans of the ICE agents coming into people's towns and rounding up illegal immigrants. People are not fans of the way he does things and foreign policies. They're not a fan of a lot of things he does. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are not fans of how the Democrats have ran the country. It's just facts. Um, Culture says Democrats don't stand for anything because the base of the party doesn't hold their feet by the fire for decades. That's a fact. I agree with that. BX Mel says that's why Oprah was front and center at the inauguration. She knew she was helping people like her and Gail. Yeah, listen, I just feel like if the Democrats don't figure out, the things that they should be fighting for, if they don't put down LGBTQ agenda, if they don't put down the, everybody can come to this country agenda, they are going to be a party of the past, bro. They're going to become a party of the past. And back when Obama was in office and stuff like that, you would think that the Democrat Party was the party of the future because everything looked so futuristic. Everything looked like, oh, this is the what America is going towards, and the Republicans were just looking old and out of touch. But I think that the Democrats have gotten to a point where it's so left that it's not in agreement with most Americans. It's like radicalized left. Because if you look back in the day, a lot of the Democrats, they were left, but they had a conservativeness about it. Like even when Barack first ran, he said that he would not legalize gay marriage. So remember, he's a progressive leftist, but he still has a bit of conservativeness to him. Now you see Democrats, they're radicalized left. They're so left that it's just like it like just turns people off. Like we don't most Americans are not looking for a radicalized left. They're looking for people to talk about the issue. That's the problem. They're not, the Democrats, they're not caring about the common man, the common woman in America. The common man and the common woman in America are not LGBTQ, respectfully. They're not an illegal immigrant, but they are prioritizing these things. BX says they are grooming Mandami for higher offices than NY's mayor also. I disagree. I don't think that Mandami, he's doing a bad job now. A lot of people are really going in on him now. He's getting scrutinized for the snowball thing. So a lot of people want those people prosecuted. They're going in on him about the snow and how he's not doing a good job with cleaning the streets. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. I think he's gonna have a rough uh a mayor time. They're already going in on him. And if things continue to go bad, they're gonna continue to go hard on him. So he's not having a good time right now. So unless he can turn the ship and make people really get invested in him, I don't know. I don't know if higher offices is going to be for him. Yeah, I don't know about Mendami being for higher office. I don't know. He's not having a good time right now. He's a month in, and they want their free stuff he promised. Yeah, listen, I'm no fan of Mendami. I was an Eric Adams guy. I'm a Eric Adams type of guy. Eric Adams deserves his flowers. Eric Adams is the mayor that New York deserves. Not the mayor that they need. He's the mayor that they deserve. You deserve Eric Adams. You deserve a mayor like that. That's the type of mayor you deserve. You don't need him. You don't want him. He isn't the best man for the job, but he's the man you deserve as your mayor. He's the man you deserve. New York deserves Eric Adams. He was the man for the job. Hey, say what you want about him. Crime decreased, less shootings, less homicides, less gang violence, no more stop and frisk, right? New York was safer. New York was a better place. You want to throw the scandals at him? You want to throw this, that, and the third? He took money over here, yada yada yada. Who cares? Look at the people that were, Now I'm not gonna lie. He did drop the ball on the immigration thing because it was billions of dollars being allocated to that. He did drop the ball on that one, but but I felt like he was a good mayor. You know, I feel like he was a good mayor. BX says, I wanted Cuomo to win. He had the experience. We ain't rocking with Cuomo. Get Cuomo out of here. Get Cuomo out of here. Nobody want Cuomo. Eric Adams. That's the mayor you deserve, bro. You need your mayor late night in the club, with a cup of Hennessy in his hand, a bad Dominican chick on his arm. That's the type of mayor I want. That's the type of mayor I want. I don't want no Cuomo. I don't want get him out of here. Mendami. I don't want that. I want a mayor that's in a Dominican spot with a cup of Henny, two Puerto Rican princesses on his arm, Armani suit, doing a live stream with Kai Cenat. That's the type of mayor I want. I don't want get these other fugazi guys out of here. He's the mayor you deserve. He's not the mayor you want. He's not the mayor you need. He's not the right man for the job, but he's the mayor you deserve. I rock with Eric Adams, man. I like Eric Adams. Yeah, man. But listen, guys, it's been real. Now, let me tell you guys, right? Let me tell you guys. Upcoming news. I will be going on vacation. And I know that sounds crazy because it's like this nigga talking about going on vacation. This nigga ain't do a stream and make a video in 2 weeks talking about he going on vacation. I got you though, right? I'm going on vacation, but I will be doing live streaming, right? I'm going to live stream every day on vacation. I'm not going to tell y'all where I'm going, not yet, but I will be doing live streams every day in another country, going on vacation for 2 weeks. Going to be somewhere nice, going to be somewhere, you guys. I'm going to show you guys a lot of things. I may even do some live streams in particular places that you've never seen. Like depending on my my signal where I'm at, if I have Wi-Fi, if I don't have Wi-Fi, I'm going to try to live stream in places you haven't seen, you haven't been. We're gonna see how that works, right? So yeah, I will be going to another country. Gonna do some live streams. I'm gonna try to do some some traveling vlogs, show you guys where I'm at, where I'm going to be, things of that nature. Sinclair said, "Did you get a cheap trip to Cancun?" No, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I ain't going nowhere near no Mexico. Did you see what's going on in Mexico? Whew. I would not want to be there. I saw what what was going on at the airport. They was wilding out at the airport. That shit was crazy. Hell no. I don't want to go to no Mexico. I have no interest on going to Mexico whatsoever. I have no interest in going to Mexico. So no, I will not be going to Mexico. Culture says going to PR or DR. I'm not gonna tell y'all where yet. I'm not gonna tell. I want to surprise y'all where I'm going. I wanted to go to Africa. I wanted to go to. I was this close to going to Africa. Right. I want to go to Africa. Africa or Brazil will probably after this trip, God willing, after this trip, my next trip is going to be either Africa or Brazil. But I'm going to go somewhere else very special. Right? No, 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 no. I'm not gonna say where yet. I'm not. No, not Thailand. No, not yet. I'm not gonna say where yet. I want to surprise y'all when I'm there. When I'm there, I'm gonna show y'all. I don't want to. I don't want to screw the surprise up. But I did want to go to Africa, so it's not going to be Africa and it's not going to be Brazil. But those are two places I did want to go. I did want to go. BX says, never doing Africa. The food sucks. Really? You don't want no jollof rice? I want to try the jollof rice. I was going to go to Kenya. I wanted to go to Kenya. I heard the food is good in Kenya. I heard the food is good in Kenya. I wanted to go to Kenya. Right? I was gonna go, but things didn't work out. Sinclair says out of the country. Yeah, I'm leaving the states. I'm getting out of the states because I'm out here in New York, and we're getting paws pounded by snow. The snow in New York is crazy. It's just it's too much. I got to get out of here. It's time to go. That's day one dish, jollof rice. Yeah, they got the jollof rice, man. You gotta get that jollof rice. You're going to Africa, man. Get that jollof rice. You know. Fence says, "Great job, President Donald Trump and ICE." Listen, man. I was in an Uber. Let me tell this story. I was in an Uber one day, and I'm in an Uber going back home from work. Right? This is crazy. I'm in the Uber, and it's a Spanish guy giving me a ride back home. Right? So I'm in the Uber. We're driving. We're like a few blocks away from my house. Out of nowhere. Now, keep in mind, right? I'm the Spanish guy. He don't know no English. He don't know no English. I get in the car. Every time I get in the Uber, I say, "Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on?" Hola. And I try to start like a little conversation. Hey, ¿cómo estás, man? Da, 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 da. And he starts speaking Spanish. I was like, "Oh, no español." He said, "Oh, no, 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 no English, no English." So I said, "Okay." So I had to sit back in the car to get the ride. So we're like a few blocks away from my house. He's driving. We get pulled over by the police. I'm like, yo, I know this ain't the ICE pulling this nigga over. So we get pulled over. They pulled over. Hey, you got your license? Da, 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 da. He gets his license. They pull this nigga out the car. I'm like, yo, is this really happening right now? Are they really about to arrest my Uber driver like on some ICE shit? Like, I thought this nigga was gonna go. I thought this nigga was gonna go. I was like, yo, this shit is real. This shit is real. I was like, yo, this shit is really real. But they wound up letting him loose. I guess he had the right papers or whatever. I asked him because they let him back in the car. He wound up driving me back home. And I was like, yo, was that ICE? I was like, yo, are they looking for you or something like that? He was like, he didn't speak English, so he didn't really tell me what was like really going on. But that was like the first time that ever happened to me. I was like, yo, what was they gonna do? They was gonna like take you out the car, and I even told the police, I was like, yo, like I'm a fair, like y'all about to take this nigga away, like I gotta go home, like. But that shit is real though. That shit is real. That shit is real, man. They'll take a nigga out the car. FBA says, I heard they drink, oh, you talking about the jollof rice and all that shit and the fufu, yeah, especially with the fufu and all that shit. Yeah, man, but that ICE shit is real, man. They took my Uber driver out the car. I'm thinking they about to throw this nigga in the back seat of the car, man. I'm like, yo, this shit is really real. Yeah, man. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go on vacation for a little while. I'm gonna live stream every day. Every day I'm gonna live stream and I'm gonna show you guys. I just hope my only issue I think I'm going to have is the signal. Cause I could go to any country and have like, just the signal and stuff like that. But sometimes it may be weak. And I wanna like walk around. Like I wanna where, the place that I'm at, I wanna walk around. I wanna show you guys the just the scenes and I might even go on a nice little a tour that I want to show you guys on the tour, and I just hope that the signal is well. I want to show you guys a lot of these things, but if that doesn't work out, I will have videos and stuff like that. We'll see how that works out. um Fence says, come on, you can't be that slow. The Democrats led in millions of illegal immigrants. I mean, listen, I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm not. I, I'm in no agreement with the Democrats. I'm like, what are you talking about? Nobody's here. Nobody. I don't think anybody in here is on the side of the Democrats. Most people are. They either on the fence or just not really rocking with the Democrats. Nobody really here rocks with the Democrats. We know the Democrats. have done a bad job. Yeah, man. But listen, y'all, I'm gonna call it a night. I gotta get some rest. I gotta get a haircut. I'm leaving out Friday. So I think I'm gonna do a stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try, God willing. You probably won't hear from me Friday because I'm gonna be traveling, I'm gonna be on the road. Um, so we'll see how that works out. So you probably won't get a stream from me Friday. We'll see how that works out. But you will see me in another country, God willing. And we're gonna be doing streams every day. So we're gonna see how that works out, y'all. Um Oh man. Thank you, Sinclair. Sinclair says good night. Stay safe, true. My squad and chat. Yeah, y'all have a good night. And it's been real, y'all. Holla. Y'all have a good night, man. Yeah. Y'all also have a good week too. Y'all have a good week, man. Yeah, is what's today? Wednesday. So yeah, the week is almost over. So y'all have a good y'all have a good rest of y'all work week. Y'all have a good one, man.